Good morning. My name is Praveen Jagvani. I'm the CEO of UTI International. I have been for the last 12 years. It's a job I love. It has given me the opportunity to meet some of the smartest investors around the world as we talk about India. The name UTI, it used to once stand for Unit Trust of India. It is India's oldest money manager. It was created by an act of the Indian Parliament in 1964, before I was born. And today, we manage assets of 150 billion US dollars. We have one of the largest investment teams on the ground in Mumbai, India, 37 professionals, all dedicated to Indian equities and Indian debt. As a house, we are listed on the National Stock Exchange of India, and our single largest shareholder is the American money manager, T. Rowe Price, who manage assets in excess of 1 trillion US dollars. I'm responsible for the international business, which is focused on helping global investors like yourselves to invest in India. According to the IMF and many other think tanks, India's GDP is likely to grow by 11.5% this year. Many economists believe that India will be the fastest growing large economy this decade. And there are two main reasons for this. As you can see on the slide, India has been climbing the GDP ladder quite rapidly for the past decade. And last year, we became a bigger economy than France and the UK. In the next 3 years, we will be bigger than Germany. And the two main reasons for India's consistent growth are, number one, a young middle class. Now, 65% of India's population is below the age of 35, and young people simply consume more. Think clothes, food, electronics. Already after a difficult year like 2020, the demand for scooters, washing machines, clothes is back to pre-COVID levels in India. And this really is India's secret sauce. Domestic consumption, which forms more than 65% of GDP. We are not a typical emerging economy that depends upon exports. And right now, while many countries in the world are trying to stimulate consumption, think US, think China, we take it as a core part of India's growth story. Exports are just 12% of India's GDP. So that's the first big reason, a young, dynamic, consuming middle class. The second reason is reforms. The last few years have seen a large number of structural reforms that have brought more than 200 million people out of poverty. We are in the process of creating an ever larger, growing middle class. Last year, every single village of India got electricity, finally. Next target, clean drinking water for every last village. Financial inclusion means more than 80% of the country now has bank accounts. These are the kind of reforms that have completely changed the trajectory of India's growth story. The per capita GDP of India has just crossed 2,000 US dollars. And these are the significant catalysts which will lead India to a sustained growth phase over the coming decade. And that will make Indian stock markets boom. So those are really the two reasons: a young consuming middle class and the structural reforms which are not fully baked into the equity markets. Emerging markets by definition are not efficient. Thus, the stock index is usually not the right basis for comparison because inefficient markets offer tremendous opportunity for stock picking and therefore alpha. And here's a chart to illustrate my point. You see three lines here. There's a blue line, a green line, and an orange line, which represent MSCI India Index, MSCI Emerging Market Index, and the orange line is our equity strategy. The outperformance is just visually clear. And as you can see from the table, when you look at 10 years, 5 years, or 3 years, and this is in US dollar terms from Bloomberg, our strategy has outperformed both the indices, India as well as emerging markets, consistently. Over a 10-year period, we have delivered a return of 200%. Now, the key message here is that the index only gives you the large, well-researched stocks of any country, and particularly true for India as an emerging market. The index delivers the beta. If you want alpha, and which is what you should truly seek, then you have to invest in under-researched companies, smaller mid-cap companies. And the only way you can do that is you invest with a local manager with on-the-ground presence, local understanding of the landscape and business models. And this is something what UTI delivers. I think India has made a name for itself in technology even before Indians were appointed as the CEOs of Google and Microsoft. The Indian technology landscape is dominated by technology service companies. And by that, I mean companies that deliver digital transformation or migration of legacy systems and run projects for integrating computer systems to intelligently talk to each other. The kind of technology that India is famous for is not similar to what is prevalent in the West, which is just research and development and new business ideas. India is known for technology service companies. And one of the companies we like a lot is Larsen & Toubro Infotech, or for short, LTI. It is a 24-year-old company that went public in 2016, so just 5 years ago. And in this 5-year period, the price of the company has grown by 5 times. It was a small cap company when we identified it first, and today it is a large cap company with revenues growing by about 14 to 15% each year. And we think this kind of performance, we can see it doing through this decade until the 2030s. Now, this is an Indian company which went public 5 years ago, and today it has offices in more than 31 countries around the world, including Norway, Sweden, Belgium, Spain, Luxembourg. Their biggest global client is Citibank, for whom they're migrating their legacy applications to a cloud-based platform. Now you compare a company like LTI with the better known Indian IT giants like Infosys or TCS. LTI is just more nimble, more agile when they come to tendering for projects around the world. And that's the reason they're able to grow rapidly, both in profits and the stock price. And the ability to discover companies like LTI, and there are many more, is essentially there because we are focused on good business models on the ground in India. And given how the pandemic-related disruption of business globally, more and more companies are outsourcing their projects to Indian IT companies like LTI. So the outlook for this company looks very bright, and we think it's a real winner in our portfolio.